Welcome to the Sonic Days podcast, home of all things audio. This season was recorded live at Sonic Days 2024. In this episode, we're joined by highly experienced sound mixer Allan Holmberg to break down the fundamentals of on-set sound. From boom mics to field recorders, Allan walks us through the essential tools and techniques that help sound recordists get the take, even in challenging environments.
We are going to talk about location sound, and I was told it's supposed to be all the way from scratch. Is that okay with you, or? Yep, cool. I'm Allan. I've been doing location sound for 30 years, and I've been doing film, TV, commercials. And to do that, I brought some gear, what we use in the industry, and this is basically all we need to do a feature film today. I have it all here. We mainly do dialogue in my field of work. It can be like that, two people talking in the car, that's pretty easy. Or it can be a lot of people talking unscripted. So what you really need to do when you work as a sound recordist is to prepare yourself for each shoot. Read the script again, try to figure out how shall I make this scene. How shall we capture the sound, and talk with the director, talk with the DOP, figure out how are they going to shoot this, can I be there with my microphones and stuff. And when you had all these talks with the director and the DOP, it's still not your call how to get the dialogue. As I said, it's pretty easy to record dialogue, but that's only until the rest of the crew shows up. And then it gets very hard, and then we'll be working in wide shots. We always have to remember how to capture the dialogue, so this will give us a bit of a problem. It can be that. It can be wind machines and lights going, or it can be our main lead character is bringing flowers in cellophane or something. So that's a hell. So it's very hard to capture dialogue when you're under these conditions. So when you have prepared yourself to do a shoot, you got your gear. It's not always the budget is there, so you have to be very creative. As a sound recordist, we do not put a lot of art into the film, but we have to be very creative to capture the dialogue. Even though we are very good at what we do and we try to get the dialogue as best as possible, there are also times where we have to give up and say, okay, you fix and post. But we do our best to get the best sound as possible, even if we know it's for ADR. And we never give up. We'll try to do the best, exactly as you say. The better the sound we can get from the location, the easier it will get to recreate it in post. So we'll never give up. Never, ever, ever. But sometimes you are lucky to work with a director who is very keen on sound, how to capture it. And this is House of Cards, the season with David Fincher. I don't know if you know David Fincher. He likes dialogue. So he said, we need the best dialogue possible. Nobody's wearing a mic or anything. It's just that. And then, because they have the money, this is how they did the scene. This is how they did the scene. So they just painted out the boom in the post-production. It must have been so fucking expensive. Now, actually, I think maybe 5%, maybe even 2% is wide shots where you need to paint out the boom, because the rest of it we will get in closer shots and stuff. Unless it's something where the director says, this is all wide shots, then you have to do that. So, what are the tools we are working with? It's very important, and I can only say that 200,000 times. Know your fucking tools. The better you know your tools, the more mental capacity you have. So when you encounter any problems, then if you know all of your tools and how they work, it's much easier for you to fix the problems. The main things we work with is a recorder like this. Anybody knows recorders? Everybody knows recorders. Yes? Cool. This is the smallest one for me. It's a Sound Devices 8 series. And I totally given up on how much they can record how many tracks, because now they can record everything you need. When I started, we had that recorder, 2 tracks. That was it. But now we have a ton of tracks. And the newer recorders, they can also do equalizing. They can do compressors. They can do auto mixing. They can do everything. So now this little box is very, very, very complicated. So you have to know your tools. Everybody know what this is? Read the fucking manual. Always read the manual. Because this tiny little machine is so deep. It has so many levels of everything. And if any of you are going on doing sound recordings or location sound, I will encourage you to, if you're working on these recorders, always make a preset so you can go from shit to a baseline like that, because you need it. A colleague of mine, he's an experienced sound guy, called me and he said, Allan, help, 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 because I have this going on somewhere. And he couldn't figure out, and he was looking at the display and he couldn't see it, but he could hear it. I was just, okay, if you can hear it, then it's in somewhere, and then you are blah, blah. So in this one, we have more levels of inputs. And in one of the deeper levels, he had input from a wireless receiver. There was nothing attached to it, so it just got a little RF hits once in a while. And because that channel was open, not recorded, but just the fader was open, it went to his left-right track, and he could hear it. If he had read the manual, he would know. I just have to look at my levels, or my layers, it's called, sorry. So, to record sound, we use different kinds of microphones. And they all have a different characteristic. You're all familiar with this, what it is. It's a polar diagram. And we can use that in our work. If we need to hear all around us, then we use the Omni. We use the supercardioid or the cardioid indoor, where we can get close. We use the shotgun indoor, outdoor, depending on the background noise. So we use a lot of microphones. And again, if you know your tools, you know when to use them and when you can benefit the most of the microphones. The most used microphone is the shotgun, because sounds coming from here and here and here and here are not as audible. They are very low in volume. So we use them a lot because we are only interested in what we are pointing at. But the thing with the shotgun is when you have to choose one. This is my tip to you. If you have to choose a shotgun mic, what do? You go to the store, you take a shotgun mic, you place it above the head, and you start talking, and you listen, and you say, oh, this is awesome. Don't do that. Because what it is we are interested in is the off-axis sound. Because most of the microphones, they sound the same, but on the sides, where we filter out the off-axis sound, the rest of the sound, the one that are left, can be really weird sounding or bad sounding or whatever. So what you do when you are looking for a shotgun mic to use for your project, listen to what comes to the side, talk into the side, go in. Everybody knows the MKH60? No? Yes? It's a workhorse in the industry. It's a shotgun mic. It's been around for tons of years. Sounds very good when you talk to it, directly into it. The off-axis sounds very, very bad. But nobody gives a shit. Gave a shit, I don't know. But it's a very bad mic, but nobody actually tested it for the off-axis sound. My choice, I'm not here to promote anything. My choice is the DPA, because the off-axis is linear. You understand? I really like DPA because DPA has a philosophy that everything has to be as linear as possible. You are capturing dialogue. You're not doing music. You're not trying to color. You can do that in post. So if they have a philosophy to make microphones that are almost recreating or capturing how it sounds, then for me it's the best one. I will get back to you. some years ago, I made a feature film and a documentary at the same time about some Danish terrorists in the 17th, 80s, Blekingadebanden. And we had to interview these guys. They are famous in Denmark, infamous. But I felt I had a historical obligation to record them as they sound. And that was when my journey with DPA started, because I have to make a recording that sounds exactly like they sound. So that was my journey, my start with DPA. I'm a very big fan. And of course, they also try to make the off-axis as linear as possible, just lower. So we also use miniature mics. Everybody knows miniature mics, right? And here it's in a concealer, but we use them a lot. They're usually Omni. I had a huge debate with DPA because I said to them, yeah, you say it's Omni, but if I turn it upside down, I can hear the difference. So it's not Omni in all frequencies, but it's Omni. What the benefit of this is, it has a very low sensitivity compared to this one. So if you place it closer to the source, then a lot of the background noise will not disappear, but it will be very low. How's that possible? This is a 5mm capsule. This is, I don't know, a bigger capsule. Of course, these are not as good as that one. These are only for me to get the dialogue if I'm not able to get it on the boom mic, because they are totally different microphones. This one isn't as full, as rich as this one. The problem with these is we cannot see them. We are not allowed to see them in frame. So we hide them. This is part of a spacesuit for a sci-fi film. And that's a 4060 DPA. Talk with the director, talk with the DOP, see how to make the scene, how to make everything work. Okay, we are using custom like this in the entire film. Let's put it there in the outfit. Or, anybody knows Sygeplejeskolen? It's a Danish TV series about doctors and nurses. And here we have a 4060 there. In frame. I really like when I can put a microphone in frame. It's so cool. I usually go to the DOP and say, can you see the mic? He said, no, where? Okay, perfect. So to hide the microphones, we have a lot of small accessories and stuff. And again, know your tools. We have a lot of small items. This is a concealer. Can everybody see it? It's a bumblebee concealer. It's a little rubber thingy. You put the mic on it, and you put some tape on the backside. And has anybody seen my mic? Can you see it? It's right here. So it's pretty easy to hide things. And this is one of the times where you have to be very, very creative, because then they'll show up with clothes that is noisy, or I have no idea what they can throw at you. They have glasses hanging here and stuff. So you will use your concealers, you will use your creativity, you'll do whatever you can to capture the dialogue as best as possible, but you have to be prepared beforehand. Make sense? I have a ton of stuff in my cart. I would have loved to show you it. I will be in a room down here with this the next 2 days, so if you want to come and see what are the small gadgets, the tricks and the stuff, come and visit me, and then we'll talk there. So, now we have all the wireless microphones on the Talons, we have the boom, and we will send everything to the recorder. The sound person will do a mix down of all the microphones. So you will have the boom blended with the wireless. You do a track of that, and you send that to edit. So they have something to edit in. And then all the ISO tracks, the discrete channels, whatever, will go to post-production, sound post, where you will work on the files there. I haven't been doing post in 20 years, and I know a lot of shit is going on. One thing that is very good for us is all the nice post-production tools. The world has gone more noisy than it used to be. We have more cars. You cannot film anywhere almost, and you will hear a freeway, or you will hear the highway, or you will hear cars everywhere. But today, with the tools we have in post-production, it's pretty easy to remove that. Always remember, when you remove something from the sound file, you also remove it from the voice, from the dialogue. And that is why we never give up, and we always try to get as best sound as possible. So the better the sound is when we give it to post, the more they have to work with. Yes? So that was actually what I got. Hope you enjoyed it.